What's up, everybody? Eddie Barco here with the Nebula Music Podcast, where I interview some of today's most exciting and inspiring musicians in the music industry, as well as in social media. Today I talk with none other than Hanny Plays. That's Hannah plays keys and Annie plays guitar. You get it? They basically combine their names to make Hanny, which is pretty genius when you really think about it. But anyways, if you've checked out some music stuff on Instagram lately, you have definitely come across some of their videos. They like to play some cool pop tunes over electronic beats, as well as their own unique songs that they play on their videos. And they're essentially creative geniuses, and I wanted to take some time to figure out their process and how it is that they approach all of their videos. So let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I am very excited to have Hanny Plays joining me on this latest episode. How are you guys doing?
We're really good. Thanks for having us.
Good, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Before we even started the episode, we were having a conversation. And just so you guys are aware, you guys are in the UK, right?
Yes, we are. We're in the middle of London.
Yeah. Oh man, that's the place to be honest. I love London, but I'm in the States, and so it's 3 a.m. for me, and it's 11 a.m. for you guys. So this is kind of how we do it in the music biz nowadays. We just wake up whenever we get a chance to, and just interact. I can't explain how excited I am to have you guys join me on this episode. You guys are absolutely amazing at what you do. I see your videos all over Instagram. You guys are very creative, but I'm not going to bore everyone by me just talking. I want to make sure that we give you guys time to share your thoughts. So why don't we just catch up with you? Tell us what you guys have been up to. What's new with you guys? Let's start there.
Yes, absolutely. So basically, what we do is music every day, all day long, every day at night. And we just kind of like make lots of videos at the moment, which like you said, they're all over Instagram and YouTube, and we've recently started to use Facebook as well. So you can literally find them everywhere you search for our names.
Can I ask you guys real quick, was there anything specific that made you guys or inspired you to start doing what it is that you're doing? And the reason why I ask, social media has become a bit of a essential tool. I think it replaces a resume, right? And so whether it is you're being creative or just, showing your musical talent, I think it's absolutely necessary. But sometimes it starts somewhere random, like a random inspiration. So I'm curious what got you guys started.
Do you mean to start social media, right?
Yeah, like to start posting videos online and all that. Like if was it something planned? Did you just kind of randomly just, recorded piano or guitar and were like, hey, I just want to post this up? Like, how did it happen?
It was totally random.
Totally random.
I don't really remember. I think you just had an idea to do it, so we did it.
Yeah, I think, how everyone, especially when you're a session musician, the first question is always, is there any video of you playing? When you're talking to someone looking for a keys player or guitarist, and before they even invite you to an audition, they want to see a video of you playing. And we had a few videos, but they were pretty crap. So we decided, okay, let's do a video, but let's do it together and make it a fun one. So we can also post it on our Instagram and just make it a bit better than all these cringy videos you usually just record of you in your bedroom with a camera. Yeah, you know that. So,
did you use the webcam on your laptop or your iPhone? Was it one of those?
Yeah, we actually stuck up our iPhones. So, and then how did it happen? I think I started messing around with the loop function on Mainstage and did a few videos. And Annie was like, hey, let's do it together. That's going to be way more fun. So I think the very first video we ever did was actually pretty crazy because we pre-recorded it and carried all our instrument, our whole living room, down on the road and sellotaped my iPhone out of the window to film it from above.
Oh my God.
It was pretty mental. It was just for fun because we're like, okay, how can we make this really creative? So we went down 2 stories with all our music and sellotaped my iPhone, which was pretty scary. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that paid off for you. I mean, this was what, maybe 2-3 years ago, I think?
No, that was
8
months ago.
Yeah.
8 months ago. That fast. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations on that. That's probably faster than I've ever heard.
Yeah, thank you.
That's crazy.
It was really natural, I think.
Well, let me step aside a little bit just from the whole social media thing, just to get to know you guys a little bit better. How did you two meet?
We just met at uni and we're in the same classes. So we both went to ACM in London, just outside of London, and we just were in the same classes. It was super unspectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you guys jam like right away when you guys met each other? Did you guys were ever like, hey, let's just meet up, let's see what we can do together?
No. Maybe once, I think, we booked a room and jam. No, the only time we really, like, other than session work and in lessons, the only time we really played together was, like, doing these loops.
Oh, in bands. We practiced previously in bands.
Yeah, we'd practice sometimes together, but we never were like, oh, let's see if we can make our own project. That was never, like, intended.
That's interesting, just how these things tend to kind of form when you don't really plan them. They kind of just, when it works, right? And I think with you guys, that just kind of sort of happened, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you guys were attending uni, which is a funny word. That's something I'm actually learning that a lot of my friends from overseas call university uni. It's just interesting to me. To me, it's just school.
Really?
School, college, everything. So you guys were attending school, and then did you guys start playing professionally or doing session work before, like right after uni, and then you guys kind of started doing the looping thing?
Yeah, so we were at uni here in England for 2 years and did a bachelor. And in between we went to, I don't know, do you know Berkeley in Boston?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we
Great
went
school.
there in between our 2 years for the summer, which was awesome. And then, so yeah, we just like studied loads, and we were these kind of nerds who would always just sit at home and practice. Whereas all our friends went out partying, and I think we were just practicing all the time. And but we just wanted to become better at our instruments, really.
Yeah. How was Berkeley, by the way? I know you guys said it was awesome, but I'm curious, how was the experience there?
Really crazy.
Yeah.
We were only there for like 5 weeks, just to do the summer course, but it was insane. There were like musicians who were just phenomenal, like absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and I think we made some really amazing friends there, actually.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it was only such a short time, but we made some really good friends there, which we still speak to a lot. And yeah, it was just, I feel like they almost take the degree there and take all the information and put it down into 5 weeks and just throw it at you. You basically have no time to practice or really realize what you're doing, and you just get home with so much information and so many things to practice. So that's really, really awesome. I learned it there.
I'm like, how did you even manage that? I mean, did you guys even have a social life when you were at Berkeley?
At Berkeley, yeah.
Yeah. It's just so many, in the classes and after classes, you just hang and you just you go to the gigs there together. There's like every night there's a different gig there, really, and yeah, just after classes sometimes you went to meet some people. So it was fine. It was really amazing. And Boston is actually pretty small, so you can just easily meet people.
Yeah, it's surprisingly small. Did you hang out in New York at all?
Yeah, we went to New York. Check that out. Just for 1 or 2 months. Yeah, that was really fun.
Now that you guys have a following, right? Now that you guys are quote unquote successful online, do you guys schedule your filming days ahead of time? Is it just kind of on a day-to-day basis? How does that work?
We do them ahead. So we're normally always 3 or 4 videos ahead of ourselves. Just because sometimes when it's crazy busy, you literally don't have time to film anything, which means a week or 2 of not putting anything up.
Right.
Which you kind of need to do. So yeah, it's always ahead of time.
Yeah.
And how often do you guys post right now?
Depends, maybe once or twice a week.
Yeah.
Twice maximum.
Yeah.
Of loops. We'll often put our own stuff up as well, but of our videos, maximum once or twice a week.
Right, and I think that's actually a really good process, just because I know that there's a lot of people that focus on the daily thing. Like they post maybe even once or twice a day, like a lick here, how to, play this song kind of thing. But you guys really focus on, in my opinion, what's quality content. You guys, every video you post just seems really well thought out. You seem to know exactly what you're doing. The filming is great and all that. And in my opinion, that's a better way of doing it. I mean, do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think even people messaged us Someone messaged me actually being like, "Oh, I like that you don't put videos up all the time. Like, and please don't. Basically, like keep it few and good rather than loads and more." Like people actively said that.
Right. And you know what? I think it's on a case-to-case basis too. Like it depends on what you like to do. And if it works for you, you know, it works. But if there's something that kind of just feels off, like I'm not necessarily excited about everything that I'm posting, then maybe it's time to revisit how often you post. But I think you guys have the right amount.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like also, you know, our videos are not just a quick lick or something. They're very well thought through, and we try to do them as best as we can, you know, music, right. But also like make it fun to watch and listen. And so I think we just couldn't do it every day. That would be impossible.
It would be a full-time job to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you guys are full-time session musicians right now, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, at the moment, we're more focusing on our own project. We only session like very occasionally now. We've had to say no quite a lot, which is great. I mean, depends how you think of it. But yeah. So we're mainly focusing on our own project.
And is the project? Is it this project that you're referring to? Is it Handy Plays?
Yes, but it's not what you see on Instagram. It's more like actual songs and stuff that we can then release, and we'll have feature singers. More like typical commercial actual music, you know, songs rather than loops.
That's crazy. Are you guys planning on releasing an actual EP at some point, or is that something that's already out?
No, we haven't actually released anything. So everything you can hear is our videos, really, on Instagram and YouTube. Right. But we are basically almost every day we're in sessions now, writing songs with loads of different producers, top liners, writers. And hopefully we'll be releasing our first song soon. Mm-hmm. Definitely in the next 3 months, I would say.
3 months,
yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited to hear that. What is your style that you would say? Is it more like singer-songwriter? Is it more pop-ish? I think you might have said pop.
Yeah, it's very pop.
Yeah, it's pop. It's fun. Dude, it's the kind of music you want to listen to when you just want to have a dance to. Really, it makes you smile. I think I like it. It's really
Actually, you know, in the songwriter world, that's something that actually fascinates me. I don't really consider myself a good songwriter. I think I can write a song if I really want to. I've worked with songwriters before, especially as a percussionist and drummer. It's a completely different world, to be honest with you. It's hard to do, to write a good song and understand how to do that. Is that something that both of you guys have been doing all your life? Or is it something you guys learned in school or just kind of picked up one day?
Both of us have never been songwriters. We've literally learned it all through the past 5 months of being in sessions.
Yeah.
We got thrown in at the deep end. Like, here's a session, go and write a song.
Yeah, literally.
Oh my God.
It was really scary at the beginning.
Yeah, but we're always in with top liners and people who are like, that's their job.
Yeah. And you actually learn so much from it now, because we've been in so many sessions with amazing people, and every session you learn something new, and everyone has a little bit of a different approach to songwriting, and
right.
It's really interesting. I feel like we've actually we've got a lot better now, right, Annie? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That tends to be what happens when you do something scary. That kind of segues into something I'm always interested in with my guests, the approach to something that's a little scary. Posting online is one thing, you know, some people are afraid of that, but there's other things that are even more scary for other people. And I think when you start to work professionally with other really good musicians, it can be intimidating. How did you guys approach that? Did you guys just go, let's see what happens? Or did you guys prepare beforehand? Walk me through. Like, how did you guys approach that situation?
I think mainly just like kind of see what happens. But I think we always come like kind of prepared to a session, as to like, we always listen to songs before that we kind of want to like go into the direction and listen to the chord progressions, listen to the instrumentation kind of thing. So I think when I go to a session, I always have like a handful of chord progressions in my pocket, which I really like and want to use. And then, because usually how sessions work, you just go there and people say, awesome, let's put a progression down. So that's basically the first thing we do usually. So I have a few always kind of in my head, and then we just see what is best in the moment kind of thing.
So you first start off with the progression. What usually comes after that? You guys focus on lyrics after that, maybe the beat?
No, to be honest, most of the sessions we have, we do the track first. So we'll do the beat after the progression, then we'll put some guitar down, then we'll put maybe a few samples in, and we'll get the track fully built and get the structure, and then we'll come and do the vocals.
So vocals are last?
Vocals are last,
Yeah.
Interesting. I've worked with a couple other songwriters, and vocals tend to be that thing that it jumps around a lot. You know, there's some people that work really well with the vocals kind of being done at first, or at least somehow have an idea of how it's going to be. But there's definitely lots that do it at the end. And I think, honestly, that's probably my favorite way. When you get the music out of the way, get the vocals down at the end. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, everyone works differently.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's back up a little bit just when it comes to actually posting and when you schedule a day to post, how does that day normally look for you guys? And how long would you say that it takes to, set up, film it, and then tear down?
It completely depends. Most of the time, it'll be like we have a free day, so we're not in a session, and we'll try and get 3 or 4 done. Sometimes we'll only get 2 done. It completely depends. But yeah, most of the time we do it in bulk. So because obviously setting up takes a while. So the more you can do in one day, the better. So I don't know. Maybe it completely varies. Also, like sometimes it takes us a few takes to get it right. So sometimes it will take 5-10 minutes. Sometimes it will take an hour and a half. It literally completely depends.
Yeah. And when it comes to the day of posting, I think...
that's just like, Hannah, should we post a video now?
Yeah. The last one I posted was on Sunday. Maybe I should post one.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, which one? It's super. And then, okay, is it on YouTube? Let's make it public. Which sometimes the videos are longer, so and I do the first half and Annie does the second, or vice versa. So
I love your free approach to posting. You're just like, oh, you know what? I haven't posted something in a while. I'll just let me scroll through my endless library of content. All right, here, I'll post that one.
Yeah. We maybe we should think more. Sometimes I post 3 a.m. and I'm like, no one's going to see this, but
no, 3 a.m. here. I know.
Yeah.
Because also, you know what? It's like different times all over the world, and our followers are all over the world. So
timing I don't think matters too much.
No.
What is the most takes that it's taken to make one video, if you remember?
I don't remember.
Like 8 or 9.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it gets really frustrating.
Sometimes, yeah. When you do it too many times, because you're like, no, that wasn't perfect.
And then you get worse.
Start to get angry.
Yeah, but you actually lose your skills, I find. The more you do it, the worse you get.
How true. I'm so glad you said that, because it's absolutely true. And not even just with music or social media. It's true with almost anything. When you start to overthink something and you start to focus too much on the statistics, analytics, blah, 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 you just tend to overcomplicate it. And you get so nervous and so uptight, and you're just like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's curious to me that you guys have adopted this very free-flowing approach to it, just because, again, going back to the whole social media thing, a lot of fans have reached out to me asking me how to do this, how to start my content online. A lot of them get very caught up with equipment, with the concepts right off the back, which is fine in my opinion. You can definitely focus on whatever it is you want to focus, but then a lot of them don't even get started just because they get so focused on, it's the video right, the lighting isn't great, the audio sucks, it's all of that. And so to someone that's trying to do that, right, that's someone that's kind of has this vision of starting their own account, how would you say that they can get over that first hurdle? Like, not necessarily that fear, but that need to be perfect.
One, I think if you don't think something's perfect, like all those little glitches, other people probably won't even notice. And 2, like no one
is perfect. I think often it's quite nice to see when someone isn't perfect, and we do mistakes. Everyone does mistakes, and looking at other people's videos and seeing them do a mistake makes them very human,
Yeah.
I mean, like, everyone can just practice something until it's completely flawless, or edit it afterwards and make it flawless. But I don't think that's the best approach. It's good when
Gotta go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. Just go for it. And if the first one isn't great and the second one isn't great, maybe the third one is better. I think we posted two or three videos before the first one actually really, like, before it got shared and featured a lot. So we did a few, and we were like, oh, whatever. It's just for us. It's just for the fun, and we don't want to be Instagram famous. And then and then 2 videos later, it got featured by a couple of different pages, and people started to really love it, completely out of the blue. So you never know, but don't beat yourself up over it.
You must have been very surprised when your video was shared, especially if you were doing it for fun. How did that feel when you guys first saw that your video was shared a couple times?
I think Instagram was broken.
Yeah, we were eating, and then we went on Instagram. Hannah went on Instagram and was like, what? I think Instagram's broken. She's like, Annie, go on your Instagram. So I went on my Instagram, and we had like a couple of thousand more followers than we did before. And we were like,
whoa.
What the fuck? And then yeah, it just continued from there. It was like we never intended on anything happening, so it was honestly just like a really nice surprise.
Do you remember which video that was?
Yeah.
I think it was Cold Water. Beebs.
That's crazy. I mean, honestly, I think that's probably the best feeling whenever you make something that you thought was fun and you just did it just for the hell of it, and then it gets shared or just people just start to liking. I think there's no better feeling of doing that, but it starts off with doing something that you like. Yep. And I think you hit it on the mark. You guys did it for fun. You just wanted to see maybe if you could do it, or like for yourselves, basically. And I think it's as simple as that. Obviously you can have a mission, you can have a goal, all that is perfectly fine. But if it's at first not for you, if you're doing it as a chore, then it just starts off wrong. And I don't think that's a recipe for success.
You can sense it as well, I think. I mean, people can sense that you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
And that's another important thing, I think, with social media, especially with social media not being new anymore. It's been here for, I don't know, a decade. And so it's here to stay, and it's become a huge part of our lives. Being genuine, surprisingly, it's very obvious. I can definitely pinpoint a couple videos that I can tell, like, oh, that person's not having fun. Or vice versa. That person is definitely having fun.
Yeah.
That's something that's important to ensuring some sort of success online. What do you think about that?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the videos that you guys make. So when you film some of the videos, when you guys are back to back or at your location, do you guys have any specific cameras that you use? Do you just use your iPhone, laptop? What do you use?
We stick my iPhone up.
Yeah. Got like one of these old note stands, you have as a little kid when you learn the music stands. Yeah, when you learn the recorder, one of these which you fold up, basically always fall or break, and we just like attach it to that and put it on the chair.
and then for recording your audio, are you guys recording live, or do you guys sometimes record beforehand and then play later, or how does that work?
No, it totally depends again with what it is that we're doing. Sometimes there's like a drum loop, which is like we don't have enough hands to play it. So we'll trigger it. Right. Sometimes we'll add things in later. Most of the time we record the audio through the interface and into auto loopers. Or sometimes I'll use my guitar looper. It literally completely depends per video on how hard they are normally.
Right. And for the audio, when you're recording it live, are you running everything through Pro Tools, or are you using any other software?
Mainstage and Logic.
I've actually
sometimes able.
And Logic. I've actually never used Mainstage before. How difficult is it to learn a software like Mainstage?
I think Mainstage is awesome. Mainstage is like basically Logic, just for live. So I use it a lot when I play live as well, because it's amazing. You can basically layer up all your sounds on the piano. So you see the keys, and you can be like, okay, I want the bass in the bottom, and you can just layer them all up amazingly and switch between sounds within the song, and it's awesome for live.
Yeah, Ableton's good as well.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Mainstage over Ableton?
It depends.
I don't know, and I think we're getting more into using Ableton, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we want to switch over to Ableton.
I think Ableton's probably a bit more secure than Mainstage. Mainstage can crack. fresh.
Would you say that it's a big learning curve between Mainstage and Ableton, or are they similar enough where you can kind of transition pretty easily?
I think they're completely different.
Yeah, I don't find
but I mean, everyone thinks differently.
Yeah.
Right.
It's also great to be able to use Ableton because so many people can you can do so much production in Ableton as well, writing.
Right.
That's amazing. I think overall this is an amazing program.
So Logic and Ableton, were these two softwares that you learned at school, or did you figure this out beforehand? Did you watch any videos, or how did you guys learn how to use these softwares?
I learned them when I was younger. I just kind of bought Logic and used it. I guess I can't remember. I guess I Googled videos, and then my guitar tutor was on it, so he showed me a few things. And then at college we had music tech, where you had to learn all these different programs.
Yeah.
So I had an idea of how to use them, but then it's always different when you know what you want to do and you've got to find how to do specific things, but then you just Google it.
I'm surprised that you didn't start with GarageBand. I feel like that's how most of us start with that.
Never.
No, never.
Well, it's don't. In my opinion, if you started with Logic and Pro Tools, it gets so much better. But honestly, if you obviously don't have access to Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, GarageBand is definitely fine. You can definitely use it. But you mentioned the whole Google thing, and I think you don't necessarily need proper schooling. So when you guys started doing your videos, was there anything particular that you didn't know how to do that you had to research on Google or YouTube to figure out how?
We kind of just figured it all out, to be honest.
Yeah, we did lots of...
months ago we figured out how to use the loop thing, but then once you've kind of figured it out, you've figured it out.
Just little things. Also, when it comes to production in general, when there's something we don't know exactly where it is in Logic, you're better at it, but there's little things you have to Google occasionally.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I think it's you literally type it into Google and you find anything. It's so easy.
But yes, we do on a regular basis Google things that we don't know.
For your videos, after you're done filming it with your iPhone or whatever it is, and then you put it into your laptop or computer, do you guys use a specific software to edit everything? And by that I mean your audio and your video together?
We don't really edit it, to be honest.
iMovie.
We stick it into iMovie. We put the audio in iMovie, we put the video in iMovie, and then we cut the video down sometimes so it's the right size, but we don't edit it at all. And then we just sync them together.
And then you export them and put it on your phone, and then there it goes into YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah, exactly.
I personally use Premiere. I used to use iMovie too, and then I just started getting into a different kind of content. And so I'm just expanding on what you're basically saying is you don't really need too much to actually start making great content online. And I think you guys are doing an amazing job.
Oh, thanks.
Was there a challenge that you faced musically wise that maybe was a bit intimidating, and how did you overcome that challenge? It could be anything. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe you guys have always just been champions. But I'm curious, just because I think when you're trying to start anything, it helps to hear other people's experience with, something bad and how they overcame that. Is there anything specific that you guys can think of?
I think when we were both doing session work, there was quite a lot of, you go, a period of time having loads of work and being asked to do loads of things, and then you have a period of time where there's literally nothing. So you literally have no work for however long it is, which is a bit of a downer. And also, I think being a girl, you have advantages and disadvantages, but a lot of people are kind of a bit shocked when you tell them that you're a guitarist or a keys player. As a session player, they kind of think you can play the caged chords and then that's about it. But I don't really take offense to that. I don't know. But I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, and I think in session work, there was always, I think, with every different session you do, every new artist you play for, there's always a bit of a challenge because every song is different. You need to learn new songs. They use different technology, maybe. Early last year, we played for this one artist, and she really needed to use backing tracks, and it came down to us to run them, and we had never done it before. So we figured out how this all works using backing tracks, and I think that was a bit of a challenge, but it's cool because you want to learn it anyway. So this was amazing.
I love your approach. I have to say, I really do love it just because you guys seem so excited to learn something new and something challenging. I play in the States. I play professionally here, and it can be intimidating, when you get hired, and there's like a festival you have to play next week, and then this artist comes out of nowhere with 30 tracks. At least for me as a drummer, I have the Roland pad, and then I'm running all these tracks and click and all this stuff. It can get a little scary. I remember the first time. But what I love about you guys is you guys are basically just, she wanted us to do this, but you know what? It was hard, but we wanted to learn how to do it anyways, so it was great. That's just what makes you guys so cool, and it seems like you guys would be some great musicians to work with.
Yay. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Let's wrap it up here.
Yeah.
What else is there for you guys? I know you guys said you guys have your original music, which I'm definitely going to check out. And I want to ask you guys definitely for more information once it comes out. But other than that, is there anything else you guys are planning for your career, whether it's individually or together?
To be honest, it's mainly this Hanny thing at the moment. Like we're focusing on that. Hopefully, we'll tour when the music's out.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, we're literally just focusing on that. All the stuff we've got to do to get there.
Yeah, this is like our main day. That's the main thing that fills our days at the moment. We're just writing so much and really focusing on getting this project right because I think it can be awesome. At least it's so much fun, so that's why we do it anyways. And and that's definitely together. I think we're a pretty good team, so we're gonna stick together for now.
Stick with what works. I mean, honestly, it's definitely working for you guys. And I honestly can't congratulate you guys enough for your success. You guys seem to be killing it, and you guys are going to do even greater things. Well, with that said, anyone who's trying to start, maybe they're still in school, or maybe they're a little older, they're just trying to figure out what to do with their talent. What would you guys advise them?
If you just want to be a really good musician, session musician, as we wanted to do all through uni, or still want to do, I say practice as much as you can, get as good as you can, and learn as much as you can, and then make contacts. Go to any gig possible, go to jam nights and meet people which are also in the industry, because they will eventually pass your name on hopefully. And so I think that's really important. And when it comes to like content on social media, I think try to do something new, try to do something that's not been there yet, because people see so many videos every day, and if they're all the same, they're not necessarily going to click on yours. So get creative and do something new.
Do you guys have any process that you guys use to come up with cool ideas? Any new thing? Like, do you guys maybe just spend a day looking at different videos and gathering different ideas from different people? Is that anything that you guys do?
Not really. That's not something we've really done. Honestly, we've literally just been we've just done what we want to do. We literally haven't tried to please anyone or spent much time kind of being like, oh, how can we do our videos? We literally.
I mean, sometimes you hear a song and you think, wow, I really want to cover this song, and then we take our own take on it. But recently, actually, we've done most of our music was original. So we just, I don't know, sometimes we just come up with a cool riff or a beat or something, and then we build it around there.
Well, honestly, you guys definitely hit it right on the mark. I think it works for you guys. You guys know what you want. You guys just do what you guys feel is right. And there's something pure about that. I know it sounds cheesy and a little corny to say, but I think, especially as musicians, you get caught up in the whole business side of things. You can get caught up in just making sure that you do it right and all this stuff. And I think at the end of the day, you guys are a prime example of just doing something just for the sake of doing it, because you like it, because it feels right. Probably the biggest takeaway of this episode is what works for you guys is you just do what feels right. You think it looks cool, and there you go. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see what's next for you guys. You guys are definitely going to kill it in the music industry.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Oh, definitely. All right, well, thank you so much. Have a good day, all right, guys?
Thank you. You too.
I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Hanny Plays. Again, that's Hannah Plays Keys and Annie Plays Guitar. I'm telling you, genius combining the name like that, especially for a branding perspective. But I hope you guys learned and are inspired from this conversation. You know, it's never too late to start posting and putting yourself out there. And let's say that you already are. Now is the time to improve your content. Check out Hanny Plays. Look at what they do and how they're creative with their process, how they're creative with the videos, and how they put a lot of thought into what they do. I'm pretty sure that you're going to get very inspired and come up with new ideas for your content. Make sure to keep on tuning in. I've got tons of other great stuff coming your way. Until next time.